Yeah.
Hey Aztecs, I'm Ethan. This is Hunter. Welcome to our second episode.
We have an amazing segment lined up for you. Now presenting Aztec Good News.
Hi Aztecs, it's Ms. Nielsen, and I just wanted to share some good news with you guys for Aztec Good News. It is Labor Day weekend when I am filming this, and I got to come home and visit my family for a couple days this weekend. I know that with COVID, we haven't always been able to travel different places and always see like family members who are far away, and that's been the case for me too. So I was really happy and glad that I got to come home and see my mom and my dad and my brother, and to be at my parents' farm, which I think is incredibly beautiful. And it's just so nice to get out of town, to be out in the fresh air, enjoying nature, getting to see the crops and the animals and all the trees and the flowers and all that beautiful stuff, as well as spending quality time with my family. So I'm going to share some other pictures with you as well. But as you can see, I'm just kind of looking out over the pasture, over the field. The sun is starting to set. It's really beautiful out here. I'll get some more pictures of the sunset. I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's a great place to be, and I love being here, but I look forward to being back with you guys next week when I'm at work and when I see you guys virtually.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson, for sharing your story. I really enjoyed that.
Next, we're going to have a story from Mrs. Van Hook and a local artist.
First of all, I'm Mrs. Van Hook, the art teacher. You guys all know that from art club last year. We have Mrs. Meyer, our principal, and
Hi, everyone.
have Andrew from the Chiefs, and then we have Jose, who is our guest star artist today.
How are you guys? Alrighty. Well, should we get started then, or?
Sure. Thank
Okay.
you.
This is really nice to be able to do this workshop, and it's kind of strange that it's going to be this kind of way. But the one thing I wanted to tell you is this is a way to have fun, right? This is totally a way to have fun. It's not, there's no critical judgment or anything here. This is totally just, creativity is a lot of fun, right? Okay. So here's the big sheet of paper, right? And the only thing I've got right now, I'm not going to use the glue stick because I wanted to show you just how much fun you can have with this. Now, I don't have any of my pieces all strung out all over, like perfectly in one place. So that doesn't matter, because what you want to do is you want to just play because I had that space. But I've started sometimes like on the edges. You can just start on the edges with any form. And remember, the edge is an edge, so you can use that as kind of like your deal. So you can start out with a square piece or one of the triangles and just start from there, right? So let's say I want to start from there. Now just take a chance, you guys. You won't have fun if you don't do it. Ooh, I like that.
So, Jose, how long have you been making artwork?
I started doing art. I was your age when I started doing art, actually. I used to draw in class. The teachers didn't like that. But if I did my homework, that was kind of the reward. They would let me draw. So I always worked and got my homework done, and then I would have extra time, and the teachers never got mad. They let me draw. The idea is that you can do art anytime. You know, there's no constraints on you. You can take the simplest thing and just make art out of it, right? Let's see what some of you guys have. But ooh, look at that. Who is that? Antonia? Yeah, that's the way to go.
Lorena, I love the kind of twisting shapes that you have going in yours. It's really wonderful. So, Jose, what is your most favorite artwork that you've ever done?
Oh, I love doing murals. Honestly, that's been my favorite thing because you can work in community. and people come by. They kind of help you out. They want to be a part of it. They ask you questions. A lot of times artists, we work kind of in isolation. We have our little studios and nobody ever sees us. Then we show up and say, here's my work. But there's a nice part to working in community where people can see you. It's really nice. I like that. But I also like private commissions. I like to do my own thing sometimes. I tell you, this kind of play right here is the most enjoyable for me. I could spend a whole day doing absolutely nothing but this, and if you could pay me for it, man, that would be ideal. But just, I mean, look at this. I mean, Yusadis, I think is your name. Yeah, look at those beautiful shapes that you've got. I mean, those nice contrasts.
What's the hardest thing you do as an artist, in your opinion?
The hardest thing?
Uh-huh.
Convincing people that it is work sometimes. Some people think that being an artist is just really easy. Like you get out of bed and you're an artist. But it's a job. It really is a job. I can't really think of anything that's more satisfying than when you actually create something that's yours, that you put your name to it, and that people look at it and like. And even if they don't like it, they look and go, oh my, you did that, you know.
Jose, as a Latino artist, and happy Hispanic Heritage Month kickoff day today. How much culture do you incorporate in your art?
A lot. I'll tell you why. I don't have it with me. When I was we came from Colombia. We immigrated from Colombia, and when we came to this country, my grandmother gave my brother and I each a blanket, right, a quilt. And the quilt is like a log cabin quilt, and it's big. I mean, she knew we'd grow into it. I still have mine. My brother lost his. He keeps saying that mine is his, and he's not getting it back. This is the only thing I have of my grandmother's. But I think I was like, I must have been like 4 years old when she gave it to us, right? When I look at that quilt, the colors that are in that quilt are the colors I paint with. I mean, it's full of so many colors. I can't imagine, when I went to art school, I remember people would say, learn how to paint in the classical way, right? Pick these certain colors and then you learn these colors. But I always wanted to be more colorful. I wanted bright colors, right? And I think that came from just growing up with this blanket and then being surrounded by a culture that just celebrates color, right? I mean, we're very colorful. I mean, we want things to be alive. Yeah, right? Yeah, and so I think that to me, so in the culture, that's one of those, and then in the piece that I showed earlier, that idea of dance, right? When you have, the nice thing about dance, when you see all the different costumes, ooh, that looks pretty. Oh yeah, you saw these? Yeah. Now you got to start gluing something down. But yeah, when you see the dance, right, the folklorico, and you see how each one, it comes from a different region and how it represents that region, that to me is, I think, the strength of the culture. Sometimes when you try to think about what represents American culture, it's you can't come up with one thing. It's so many things. But I think we have our traditions and we should celebrate those, right?
100%. 100%.
Yes. And this is the best way to do it, Let me see. Nobody can ever take away the joy and the freedom you have when you let yourself play like this, right? That's if you ever learn anything in school or anything, this kind of activity, nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can tell you how to create or anything. As long as you're playing and you're open to it, this will always be something you can come back to when things get a little tough, right? That's the beauty of art to me. It's like, it's always going to be there for me,
So I have one big question I've been saving for the end, but what is your advice for young artists? Like, where do they go from here? What can they do?
Well, honestly, the best thing that they can do is just look at what they've done. Look at how unconstrained it was. Look at how few materials there are. And then look at the things they create. And in that creation, they'll find the things to go to next, right? There's artists that end up loving this idea of rounded forms, right? They just, over the time, they just love rounded forms. There's others that are very analytical. They like square, or they're all about color. But the thing is, you never really know what it is you want to do until you start playing like this, right? And after a while, you begin to see similarities in the stuff that you like. I always tell kids, don't start doing art by doing something that somebody's going to say, oh, that doesn't look like that guy. Don't try to copy something. First, play. Play first, because that gives you the confidence that you need when you start to do the other stuff. Because, man, the other.
Thank you, Mrs. Van Hook, for putting up this project. I thought Jose was very inspiring.
Now for some tips and tricks from Mr. Robinson.
Hi guys, I'm here at the request of Mr. Minnis to teach you some virtual learning tips for success. These are things that hopefully just starting today you can do every single day that makes you a little bit more successful while we are learning and teaching virtually. The first tip for success is to check your email often. So this means multiple times a day. If you need a real simple way to think about it, try to check it twice in the morning, twice after lunch, and then twice in the evening time. Email is one of the main ways that teachers can communicate with you right now if you have a small group, if they're missing an assignment from you, or if they just want to check in and make sure that you're on the same page about everything. So checking your email for that information is critical to not missing small groups, not missing homework, and things like that. So read and check your email often. And if you need more tips for how to organize your email, email Mr. Robinson and I can give you some more strategies there. The second thing we're going to talk about is do work the same day you receive it. So we have science on Monday, math on Tuesday, specials on Wednesday, you know the rest, ELA on Thursday, social studies on Friday. I would suggest, if at all possible, if you don't have something that comes up, do as much of that homework on the day you receive it as possible. Because when another day passes, you're about to have another class with 3 to 4 new assignments for that new class. And the stuff that you learned yesterday is just gonna kind of slip in your memory more and more with every day that passes. So the majority of your work, if you can get it done the day that it was assigned, that's when it's going to be the most fresh in your head. That's when you're going to remember how to do the content the best, and that's how you're going to be the most successful. The next thing on our list is use Google Calendar to check where you need to be. Google Calendar is the one-stop shop to check all of your small groups, all of your virtual classes, all of your responsibilities really for the day and for the week will be housed on Google Calendar. Sure, you may receive an email, you may receive some other kind of message that tells you when you're going to have a small group, but sometimes you won't. Google Calendar will always have that information. It will have everything you're scheduled for all week, okay? So I would say check it pretty often. Check it almost as often as you check your email, because you never know if you check it on a Monday of a week, maybe a teacher scheduled you for a small group on Wednesday or Thursday, and you didn't know about it because you haven't checked in a while. So I would just say check your Google Calendar often. It is the best place to see where you need to be. Tell your teachers if you can't meet ahead of time. So it's really good if you're taking accountability and you know you have a doctor's appointment or something else has come up that you can't come to a small group or you can't come to your scheduled virtual class. However, that information helps teachers out a lot more if you say it ahead of time. Sometimes this won't be possible. Sometimes emergencies happen at the last minute. However, if you know a day or two ahead of time you're going to have an appointment or you're not going to be able to make it, email your teachers with as much advance notice as you can so that they can start preparing when you'll make up that time, when you'll have another small group, all that kind of stuff. It really makes you seem more prepared and more responsible than if the time comes and goes, your teacher marks you absent, and then you tell us that something came up. So just make sure you're always taking accountability by telling your teacher if you can't meet ahead of time as opposed to afterwards. And then the last thing if you are stressed or confused, talk to your Aztec teacher. This is probably the most critical of all of the virtual success tips. If you are stressed or confused, talk to your Aztec teacher. Your Aztec teacher is your lifeline, your mentor, the teacher you probably at this point know the best because you talk to them every day instead of just once a week. So please talk to your Aztec teacher if you feel like you have too many assignments and you don't know how you're going to get them all done in time, or if you don't even know where to start. You don't know where to look for assignments, you don't know what the teacher's asking of you. You of course can reach out to your math teacher, your ELA teacher, your social studies teacher. I encourage you to do that as well. But your Aztec teacher is the person who's going to be able to get answers for you the quickest and is going to be able to advocate for you because they know you the best. So please, if you are stressed or confused, talk to your Aztec teacher. I'm sorry guys, maybe you've noticed some things are kind of weird throughout this video, and I gotta admit, there's something kind of on my mind. You see, something about me, something about Mr. Robinson is, I used to be the 98th best Tetris player in the entire world. That's not a joke. I used to be the 98th best Tetris player in the entire world. And now, I'm not. Probably not even the top 1,000 anymore. I need to get back there. This was important, sure, but if I'm gonna do this to the best of my ability, I need to train, I need to study, I need to practice, I need to become the best Tetris player I can be. So what we have here is you take the metric of the T-spin, and then you take sigma 99, it starts at 0, goes to 99, the quadratic formula, T-spin minus 3-line combo, cube that, square that, divide that by the game level, times the height of the pieces. That will give you whether you should build up or whether you should build over. Up or over. Remember, by mastering the lines in real life, I can master the lines in the game. More. Faster. More. Faster. More. Well, I'm still not the best Tetris player. If anything, I just kind of hurt myself a lot. But anyway, remember these tips for success in virtual learning. This is probably a lot more important than that other stuff.
Thanks, Mr. Robinson. Those were some really good tips you gave us for learning virtually. I wanted to give a special shout out to Ethan and Lasagna. Thank you for guest hosting. You guys did amazing. That's all we have for this episode, Aztecs. I hope you have a great weekend, and go Chiefs.
Yeah.